Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Henrietta Mandula. On today's topic, we'll be sharing about the 4 pillars of country living. What did we find and how did we experience those pillars? Join me on this journey as I share with you our experience. As you read the book Country Living, it says the Lord will open the way, but some will have to help themselves to open the way. When we came to our land, there was no access for us, and we needed to open the access for ourselves. How then do we do that? One of the things you need to consider as you look for a land is that your land has to be in easy access to the city where you will need to labor, to work, or even to go to places that are of emergency. Our land did not have access. We needed to have an access. It was a land that was on the inside. So we ended up asking our neighbor if they could allow us to buy this part of their land, which became our driveway into our property. Sometimes when you look for land, where I am in Malawi, you might find land that is deep inside a forest, and that land has no access. You don't need to give up on your land, but you have to help yourself in opening the way. The Lord will have opened the way for you to find the land. Now that you found the land, you need also to play the part in creating your own access. In that way, you have a balance. The Lord has opened the way for you. You have also played a role in opening the way. Some lands are deep inside and some lands are closer to the road. The next pillar we needed was land enough to cultivate our food. The book Country Living says that we should look for properties so that you're able to grow your own food for you and your family. Well, we found land and we've been able to cultivate beans. So on this side, you're seeing raised beds. These ones is where we plant most of our beans, all types of beans. And on this side is where we grow most of our vegetables. Lettuce, variety of lettuce, cabbage, tomatoes, radish, beets, anything we think of. Now, was this land like this before? No, it wasn't. We had to work on the land. You see, our property has red clayish soil, so the soil is very hard. What did we then do? We ended up having to look for black soil or topsoil, look for lots of manure, because sometimes you might find that the land that you find, the soil is not so great. You need to work the soil. Sister Y did counsel on that to say, some properties, you will need to till the land. You will need to work the soil. There are other people who are lucky who find virgin land. Well, I didn't find most of the land virgin. But where I am planting my vegetables, we had to work the soil. And also, as you can see, we have raised beds. Why raised beds? Well, our terrain goes downhill. So during rainy season, when we would plant our vegetables, most of them will be washed away or they'll be soaked inside water. So we decided to have raised beds. In that way, we're able to preserve the plants and also reduce the amount of space for weeding. So this vegetable bedside has helped us a lot in that it has produced a lot of food for us to be able to eat. And also, it has saved us a lot of energy when it comes to weeding a lot of weeds because of the way we designed the beds. The other part of the land that we needed was where we're going to have our orchard. So immediately after our vegetable garden, we have an orchard behind us. Well, this orchard did not look like this at the beginning. The land had natural trees. We had to cut down most of the natural trees so that we could create our orchard. Yes, we found some natural fruits around the area. We have we found some mango trees. We found some chubu trees. I don't know the English name, but we found some indigenous fruit trees and also found what we call in Shona madamba. Here they call it mazai. How we worked on the orchard. At first, the same terrain was sloped down. And when we were planting the trees, we planted them the L&G White method way, where you start with a hole, which is 1 meter, and then inside the hole, you put your big rocks, small rocks, manure as you come out. And most of our trees, we planted trees that would give us fruits in the next 3 to 4 years. We didn't want fruit trees that would take long, as we're also trying to apply that we need some trees that give us fruits immediately. So we have been enjoying the fruits of our land. And with the passage of time, we were able now to reshape the place to have nice terraces and plant our own lawn. The other pillar we're looking into is the source of water. So when we came to ask for the land, we asked about the water, the situation, how is it like? And we were told that the land that we were to occupy, the water level are high and there's always water all year round. And we also asked if there's a borehole nearby. Well, we weren't yet ready or strong enough to stomach in drinking water from the stream. So when we got to the land, there were a few trees that we already knew that when you see certain type of trees, you know that the land has water. And this is one of those trees. And where the tree is, the stream goes all the way down and meets the other stream that comes from the other side. And together they join and form the riverbank, going all the way down until the water reaches the lake. After a few months of drawing water from the community borehole, we were able to drill our own borehole. Now, this borehole was done manually by a few gentlemen. It took them a week or two, if I'm not mistaken, and they dug two places. One that we're using water to use on our day-to-day use, and the second one that now houses the water system was dug at the same time, but that water system was kept for a while until we're able to build our water pump that uses gravity to pump water inside the house. Now, was this done immediately? No. With everything, it takes time. There were seasons where we had to go to the borehole, the local community borehole, to get water. And with each season, we learned to pray and to trust in God, to say, at the appointed time, He will provide for us the resources that we need for us to be able to build our own water system. And now we enjoy the water from this borehole, at the same time the water from the tank straight into our house. Last but not least, we needed the source of energy. And one thing we asked of our property, if it has enough trees. And yes, to our pleasant surprise, the land had and has lots of trees. Yes, some trees were cut down, but there's still enough trees to go around for a few years or even more. We use the trees for firewood. We use the same trees for charcoal. Now, before we left the city, we had an electric stove. We sold that one and replaced it with a gas stove. So when we arrived, when we didn't have electricity, we're still able to cook using gas, and sometimes using charcoal, and sometimes using firewood. So as you plan and as you transition, consider the things that you have, especially if you have electrical gadgets. When you find land, consider, is there electricity nearby where the pole can be put to your land if you want the electricity, or you want to go completely off-grid. So if you're going completely off-grid, you may need to sell your electric stove or your electric gadgets, depending on how you would want to survive here. But at the same time, when you do that, you have to find means how you are going to replace those things. Also, since we do not have immediate electricity then, we had 6 solar lights that we used to charge outside during the day. So at night, our lamps would go on, and that was satisfactory for us. With the passage of time, we're then able to have a solar system, a small one, just for us to be able to charge our phones, gadgets, other gadgets, laptops that we needed for work, and also just for it to be able to cool our fridge. So our fridge worked in a funny way. We only switched it on during the afternoon, during the daytime, when there is enough sunshine outside. And if there's no sunshine, well, for that day, the fridge is not on. Now with all this, the other thing that we did, just to make our environment beautiful and nice for us to live in, was plant lots of flowers. Where we live during hot summers, it is too hot that even the soil gets too dry no matter how much water you put in it. So with certain types of flowers that we preferred, and these are the zinnias and the marigolds. Those ones survive any time, any season. And with that, there are things that don't go away. But with the beauty that surrounds us, we're able to glorify and thank God for the beauties that He's given us. Not all days are roses, but whatever happens from day to day, we're able to see the hand of God. So we've seen the hand of God all the way from the time we moved here up to where we are now. Not everything was done in one go. Everything took time, and with time, we're able to accomplish a lot. So give yourself time, give yourself grace, give yourself patience, and allow the Lord to work on you. Follow His leading and His guidings. And remember, He knows your needs and your wants, and He will supply them according to His riches and His glory for the working of your character. Bye for now, friends.